Well, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brown and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines. So here we are. We have just had round one, gentlemen, of the NRL. We are so excited that the football's back, and there's been some amazing games this weekend and a lot of rain. And a few strange decisions that we'll talk about later.
Certainly today. The Penrith game. There was some.
We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about a strange decision that was made for a penalty try the other day in the Bulldogs game.
Yeah,
which I thought was a bit bizarre.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, we'll see. Okay, so gentlemen, how are you tonight? All good?
Yeah.
All excited?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Yeah, we're right. Sure.
Okay, you're smirking for a reason?
Sorry?
You're smirking for a reason?
Smirking.
Like you have a...
ulterior motive.
Yeah.
A little
hidden
joke.
agenda.
A little joke. No reason yet. Just keep going.
Alright, and Tom, you went out to the football today?
I've been to 2 live games in 1 week. That 1 weekend, that's big time for me.
Makes him a normal fan.
And both times he lost, but we'll talk about that later as well.
Double loser.
Okay, let's get started. Gentlemen, let's have a talk about the first game on Thursday night at Amy Park, where the Melbourne Storm beat the Broncos 22-12.
Yes. Probably the best game of the round.
I thought so too, I must admit.
And I'm saying that totally unbiased because I hate both of these teams. Actually, I hate every team, doesn't matter.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
no, I really don't like Melbourne. Actually, you know what? I found...
Well, you can change your mind now.
Well, no. This is gents. I found that there's no Billy Slater there, and all of a sudden my intense dislike of Melbourne is actually it's actually just they've actually just moved up a little bit.
Your intense dislike has increased, you're saying?
No, decreased.
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 He's talking English.
No. Well, that's like I'm thinking of my dislike scale.
Hate meter. No, your like meter. Right. If it's going up and it's a dislike scale, you're getting more. You're disliking them more.
So Melbourne now it's definitely Parramatta on the bottom with Melbourne just ahead of them, rather than Melbourne on the bottom with Parramatta just ahead of them.
So would you count yourself as a Melbourne-ish supporter? Or a Melbourne supporter-ish? No?
Oh, border.
Oh, that's seriously no.
No, okay.
No, I'm just saying I dislike them just a little bit less than Parramatta now.
Okay, so Tom, what do you think of the game?
Well, it was. I think Melbourne came out like a bull at a gate. They were really on from the very few minutes. I thought the Broncos were very clunky, even worse than clunky. They were really disorganised in their attack. They weren't offering much against Melbourne. Melbourne just seemed to have rolled around from last season.
Yeah, they just carried on.
Good preparation.
Yep.
And and even the Broncos' tries that they scored were actually lucky, I think. The first one was a decent try, but the second one was just a lost ball.
Yeah.
Admittedly, so was Melbourne. It was a lost ball, but they earned their tries a lot more than the Broncos did. So it actually flattered them, I think, the score.
But Melbourne's intensity was impressive.
Oh, yes.
For round one?
Yep. Round one, yeah.
Yep.
It really was.
And no Billy Slater, and he was a big part of their attack. Drinkwater was already out, so they had to throw Jerome Hughes in, and Jerome Hughes I already thought was a pretty decent fullback. Although he played half last year, but I thought when he came on the scene, he was in fullback.
Oh, he certainly showed it, yeah.
Good.
Good performance by the Storm overall. Round one, they played very, very well. I wasn't disappointed with Brisbane. Like I said, I always thought they were going to struggle with their halves. I thought they lacked a little bit of creativity, but...
So not disappointed or not surprised?
Well, not surprised. I thought they would be terrible, and I was really surprised that you guys both picked them. Honestly, I just don't see Brisbane doing anything. Their young forward pack will carry them through games, but I just don't see that they've got a lot of points in them. And so it surprised me that the intensity was there and that they were matching the Storm continually, who were very, very good.
You thought Brisbane had intensity? I thought they were just hanging in the whole game.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They held with the Storm the entire game. I thought that was impressive.
They never looked like they were going to win.
No.
Do you
No.
think it's? Do you think though? And one of the reasons I actually picked the Broncos this year was because I know they're going to be clunky because Seabold is changing things.
Yep.
And a new coach will do that. I mean, you look at the Broncos, you look at South, you look at Manly, look at Tigers. They're all a little bit clunky compared to what they were last year.
Panthers.
Yep. So I think with new coach comes that clunkiness in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah.
I think they showed enough that they will win their fair share of games. But
yeah, so I just don't think they can stay in it with the top sides. So
yeah,
once we figure out who the top sides are.
but remember, it is round one.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Round one's almost round one's a glorified trial.
This has been his mantra all weekend. You understand it?
But you know what? But
all weekend.
But as I'm saying, like we're talking the first game, the intensity surprised.
Yeah.
But probably the result didn't.
No. Didn't. Mind you, I didn't pick the Broncos either. But
I know.
and I was thinking, I didn't
pick
I'm sorry, I did pick the Broncos. And
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking, should I go? I was like, hang on, this is Broncos in Melbourne in Melbourne.
I know.
I always pick Melbourne in Melbourne.
And Melbourne haven't lost their opening game for what, 10 years? 15 years. Now
even 17 years.
Now it's 16 years, and you guys still.
I'm sitting there thinking, why? I don't know why I didn't pick them. Anyway,
I think that was wishful thinking. I think we all want Melbourne to drop off the perch.
Sally, I picked them.
You want a medal?
Yep.
Or a chest to put it on?
Trust me, I got plenty of that, buddy.
An oldie but a goodie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, let's move on to McDonald Jones Stadium on Friday night. Sorry, this is the game I was referring to. Newcastle Knights beat the Sharks 14-8. There was an incident in this where the Sharks get the Sharks get a penalty try.
Just remind us what happened.
One of the Sharks players was taken off the ball after they kicked through, taken out by the Newcastle winger. Didn't get to the ball, but Cronulla then ran through and actually scored. He bounced the ball. He bounced the ball.
Yes.
But they gave them the try because the bunker said more than likely they would have scored.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, they say, look, there's no guarantee it would have happened, so therefore.
Happened twice in the game today, from memory.
Yeah, but then, if it was supposed to be a penalty try and it was a professional foul, why wasn't the winger sent to the bin? Because he scores 4 or 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
So I honestly, to me, it should never have been allowed anyway. The Cronulla try. So, round 1, the bunker makes a bit of a boo. But anyway.
What do we think of the new halves combinations of both teams, James?
I didn't see a lot of this game. I was actually on my way in transit to the next game.
I'm not overly impressed at the moment with Ponga at 5'8". I can't say I'm just not seeing it working. I don't think it actually. He's not getting into the game. When he comes in from fullback, he's actually getting into the game. At 5'8", all he's really doing seems to be passing the ball out to the centres, and so. But he's not getting into it. That's my take on it.
I agree. I agree with Steve.
Wow.
Can you look at the camera and say that?
Steve, I agree with your summation of the Kalen Ponga
Professional
first game.
Professional assessment.
And you're supposed to say, because I thought of it first.
Well, of course I thought of it. That's why I told me it was the same.
That's right. Keep going. Okay. Keep going.
Sean Johnson and Chad Townsend.
No, I was lost on Sean Johnson. I don't think he did an awful lot either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was hoping that a change of clubs for Sean Johnson would propel him to where he should be.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a golden boot winner here. I don't know what I'm talking about.
A while ago.
But, I was kind of expecting more. But again, first round.
And don't forget again, another club with a new coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was another clunky performance, let's call it.
And it was round 1.
Round 1. Yes.
That'll be my excuse in a minute.
Yeah,
you're both going to make excuses like that.
I don't need to make excuses.
No, you don't actually have a lot. Okay, let's move on to Sydney Cricket Ground on Friday night as well, where
the Sydney Cricket Swamp.
The Sydney Cricket
It
Swamp.
was a swamp. Yes.
Where the South Sydney Rabbitohs smashed the Roosters 26-16.
Look,
Impressive performance by South.
No, well, I thought it was a really good performance by South. I wouldn't call it impressive. I thought that they were better than the Roosters. No, they were just better in every way than the Roosters. There's no doubt about that. I thought that they threw the ball around a lot more. In fact, the Roosters coach said in his press conference that they asked him what the difference was between last year's Rabbitohs and this year's Rabbitohs, and he said, you can see they're throwing the ball around a lot more than last year. It was a lot more structured. That Bennett's given them a bit of a license to do that. A lot of in-out passing, and I thought that was impressive, where they'd run the ball one way and they'd throw it back the other way to try and fool the... It didn't actually work, because I think there were times when the Roosters' defence was really, really good. The problem was they let themselves down on the last tackle options. 4 tries. Trent Robinson said there were 4 tries scored off the last tackle. I thought Adam Reynolds has an exceptional kicking game, but that's what he does.
That's what he does. That's what he can bring.
And I've always liked Adam Reynolds. I've always admired the way he plays.
Yeah. I know we're going to say it's round 1.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a bit of a hangover with the Roosters? Grand final.
Yeah.
They've just come back from England, winning the World Club Challenge.
I think it probably took them by surprise.
Maybe just tiredness more so than anything.
I think it took them by surprise. I think they were surprised they played so poorly.
Yeah.
They dropped a lot of balls. 64% completions. You can't win a game with that. So I have every confidence that this is a simple blip. I mean, I'll give credit to the Rabbitohs. They played very well. They were really, really disciplined, and they played really well. But I have no concerns about my team.
Neither should you. They won't play that badly that often.
They only had 2 real opportunities to score, or probably 2 decent opportunities, and they scored off both of them.
Yeah.
So look, I'm not overly concerned. I was disappointed. Bunnies and Roosters never want to get beaten.
Yeah.
But in the end, I thought, well, you got plenty of time to work on this.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
There was a few incidences towards the end where the nigger was coming in.
Sure.
And I've got to say,
that's what you want in a Rabbitohs.
Yeah,
Roosters
I actually didn't mind it. I don't guess we want to all see fists flying as well, but at the end of the day, I thought that was just a little bit of fun. And there was a Cody Walker incident. There was Latrell Mitchell was sort of trying to annoy everybody,
and they both need to learn lessons about how to behave themselves.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
Yeah,
I think Latrell Mitchell just needs to grow up.
Yeah, well, you're probably right. He's only 21, and he needs to grow up. Cody Walker, on the other hand, is 28, and he has not grown up.
No.
And that's
No. Don't go deflecting.
I'm simply saying you should know better.
All right, okay. Let me just say.
I didn't set him up, by the way.
It is an absolute shocker that after the match, Latrell Mitchell comes out and says, they say things and they bait me. Well, and I mean this as a compliment. When you're the best centre in the game, they're gonna bait you.
But he also, to his credit, said, they baited me and they got me and they succeeded, and I need to learn from that. So if that's his response,
but you know what?
I
that every club is going to come out and do
it. Well, I certainly hope that when Manly plays Roosters, Dylan Walker's back.
But it's up to him to grow up and not succumb to it.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, all week they were talking about the Inglis Latrell Mitchell battle and how Inglis is not fit, he's overweight, they're worried for him. You know what? Inglis ran more than what Latrell Mitchell did. And they barely came together.
I kept saying, when is Latrell going to get the ball?
Yeah.
They still don't give him the ball. I tell you what, Luke Keary made a couple of try lines saves, one on English,
there was
one on somebody else.
One on Reynolds.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
He's a tough bugger.
Yeah.
He really is.
That comes from being an ex-Rabbitoh. Let's move on. Let's move on to Saturday. Saturday afternoon at Mount Smart Stadium, where the Warriors beat the Dogs 40-6.
And the first half, it was all about defence.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe, I missed the rest of the game, but I couldn't believe how it blew out. But defence was the order of the day in a number of games, really.
I'm sorry, you should not get beaten 40-6 in the first game.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard to take, isn't it?
It's a bit hard to take.
Look, I personally have picked the Dogs for the spoon. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't think that they've got They've got a good enough spine. I think they're unsettled in their forward pack, and their backs, considering they lost the Morris boys, I don't think they offer a lot in attack. I think, unfortunately, and I don't think the Warriors are great. So I think that this is going to be something of a ongoing concern for
outside
Bulldogs.
of Hopewadi, maybe Josh Jackson. There's not a lot of other players that you would say would walk into a side. I mean, yeah, the halves are good.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Well,
Yeah, but they're not great. Is my point.
Better than it has for a long time.
Yeah, but Foran's played like 5 games in the last 3 years.
I know.
Yeah, but
So
even
he looked fit and he looked like he was ready. So, I mean, if he hasn't got anything to work with, it's going to be difficult. But, look, Fusatua and Mamalo are now starting to reach their potential. I thought Fusatua, the little I saw of him in the highlights, just shows what a wonderful player he is. I mean, and he didn't score any tries, but what he did with the ball, batting back off a bomb, so that then Carter could score. Just tremendous. Yeah, they use their height really well.
So none of us, I think, picked the Warriors for top 8. Does that change your mind at all?
No.
Or is it just because they were playing the Dogs?
Oh, it's round 1. Glorified trial match.
So at the end of every critique of every game, we'll just simply say 1, 2, 3. It's round 1.
That doesn't leave an awful lot for the show. For our thousands of watchers out there, it doesn't. They're looking for intelligent comment, not.
Jeez, I almost missed the Tigers.
It's round 1.
Yeah, look, that young halfback looks like he's going to go all right. Adam Kieran.
And he was a Whale Rover, isn't he?
Oh,
Roosters Feeder Club.
Yeah, sorry, he's New Zealand.
Well, they're not the Roosters Feeder Club anymore.
No, they're not.
No. Yeah, look, he looked all right. He directed traffic, played quite well. But then again, the Warriors pack was dominant. Easy for your halfback to win games when your forward pack's
Blake
rolling.
Green, pinpoint kicking.
Yep.
Terrific.
Okay. Oh, and did you hear the Bunnies beat North Sydney 20-14 today?
No.
North Sydney Feeder Club to Roosters.
Yeah. Okay.
So throw that in.
Yeah.
So you lost 2 games this weekend.
Round 1.
Okay, let's move on to Leichhardt Oval. In fact, a packed Leichhardt Oval almost.
Yeah.
Where the West Tigers beat the Manly Sea Eagles 20-6.
And I'm sorry, this was a game where you never saw the Manly ever winning.
No, Manly should. In fact, it didn't even look like they was going to score at all.
Yeah. They scored fairly late, didn't they?
Yeah, it was only 5 minutes to go or something like that, and they scored.
Yeah.
Brian, would you like to say something?
I'd like to say I've lost the app, but that's okay.
You can look on mine if you
No,
want.
I don't want to look on yours. It's just sad. Okay, what have I got to say now? Because these guys just took 15 minutes talking about a boring game that nobody cared about in the Roosters Rabbitohs, I think I have right of reply here.
15 minutes? We haven't even been going for. Well, yeah, we're going for 18 minutes.
It felt like 15 minutes, and 15 of that was you guys. Look, round 1.
Oh, come on, say something more.
Okay, well, let me just say, I thought first half was good, dominated by defence. I actually thought at last my team has a little bit of steel in the defence again. I don't want to bag any player, particularly anyone that's come to my club. But when you're the fullback and you're on the fly and you've got a guy on your inside, you pass the ball to him so he scores.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay? Would have been the first try of the match and it would have set us up brilliantly. It was just little things like that. You can tell that the class just isn't there when it comes to Manly. The difference was the experience and old heads of Benji Marshall and Robert Farah. When the game was tough and on the line, those 2 players stepped up. And unfortunately, Manly just didn't have that.
Couldn't step up.
They just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, as we spoke about last week, Manly's lack of depth is going to cause them no end of grief. You take Tom and Dylan Walker out of that team and all of a sudden you've got a back line that it's just young.
Yeah.
There's no one there. And so I have concerns if there's not a change made, but there is no change to be made. So,
So what do you think? What do we think of the Tigers?
look, I thought they were scrappy. I thought it wasn't a great game.
But that was solid. I mean, they were solid.
Yeah, pouring rain.
Good game.
Pouring rain. It just wasn't a good game.
One of the things I noticed about most of the games this weekend, though, was in nearly all of them, you're approaching the first half, and there hasn't even been a point scored.
And that's because defence has been the argument. And
Yeah.
look, you're going to bag me for saying this, but I think a lot of clubs looked at the way the Roosters won the premiership last year, and they won it on defence. Their attack wasn't that great.
Yeah.
You know, they won it on defence, and so obviously the coaches have said attack wins game, defence wins games. Let's focus on the defence. And almost every game except for the first one, there were virtually no points scored in the first 20 to 30 minutes because both sides were defending really well. So, and that's not ugly football to see. I mean, it's good to see.
I was quite happy to see it.
Yeah.
Close. There's no problem with that at all.
Sure.
Well, you've broken it now, or what, Brian?
Yeah, he's back on track.
Have we lost you?
He's
Okay.
right.
Yeah. No, sorry. Fix it back up. Yeah. I didn't think they were that impressive.
Okay.
And
Tigers.
yeah, I didn't think either of those
What
teams
did
were
they say
that
about your
impressive.
team?
Oh, look, I already, like I said, as I already stated last week, I don't think my team's going to make the top 8. I think that they're going to win more games than last year, and I also don't have the Tigers there for a very good reason.
Last year? I'm not joking.
Oh. I don't know, I've forgotten last year. It was
Half a
just a
dozen?
mozzle. And I'll tell you, next week's going to be hard too, but anyway, we won't talk about that just yet.
No, we won't. Okay, let's move on to the next game, which was 1300 Smile Stadium, where the North Queensland Cowboys beat St George Illawarra 24-12. Now, St George Illawarra had already lost Jack DeBellin. Halfway through the game, they lost
Tyson Frizzell.
He's had
and
surgery.
he's now out for probably about 6 weeks.
Thoughts are with you, brother.
Yeah.
When you cop a knee to the jewels, that's bad, and then surgery.
Yes.
Wow.
Not nice.
That was a hard one.
That was difficult to watch.
Carmelano ran for 300 and something metres.
301 metres.
And you could see it. He was absolutely explosive. And the thing you like about him is not only is he powerful and he runs a lot of metres, but he's got a step on him.
Yeah.
He's got a pass on him.
Yeah.
It's just the ultimate forward.
Yeah. So they get rid of one JT and they.
Well,
Actually, that's a good
another one takes
trivia
over.
question.
Yeah, we talked about it the other night.
How many JTs have there been in the game in the history?
in the history of the game.
Well, history of the game.
I'm going to put it up on Facebook.
How about
You know?
just playing at the moment?
No,
okay.
just in the whole game. How many
No.
JTs have there been playing in rugby league?
Jonathan
That's a
Thurston?
trivia question. No,
Just two that we're talking about. Jonathan Thurston, Jason Tamalolo.
James Tarmow. They were all playing at the same
Don't
time.
say anymore.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
say anymore.
Yeah,
So,
but,
yes.
but Tamo wasn't ever known as JT though.
No,
but they're JTs.
We had to talk about this the other night.
Of course,
Sorry,
they had to
post it
talk
on
about it
Fa-
because
post it on
that's a
Facebook.
lame question.
Excuse me, you were asked to the other night and you didn't turn up.
So please-
Rude.
Go to the Facebook site, NRL from the Sidelines, and list your list of players that had the name JT. Okay, just a bit of trivia. Let's get people involved.
Yeah, exactly. What a great idea.
Bet you it was their idea.
Can you just remind that Steve said, "What a great idea, Tom." Okay, that's all.
With my fingers
Hey,
crossed. No.
Hey, can I say, get him to look into the camera and say it like he does to me.
No, I can't do that. I have to look this way. Okay,
Anyway.
so the game.
Yeah.
I thought the Cowboys, like Melbourne, were impressive.
Yeah, they were.
Compared to the way Cowboys played last year, I thought they really stepped up. Morgan had a great game. Tamalolo had a great game.
Yep.
I was quite impressed. St George, on the other hand,
They hung in there. For a
hung
while,
in,
for a
but
while.
it may even do St George the world of good to have not won this game.
Yep.
The last few years, they win the first 10 games, and they do really well, and then they fade. Maybe it's good for them to lose a few at the beginning now and be able to try and continue something after the state of origin.
I think they were pretty committed in defence for a large part of the first half, but they had nothing in attack.
Winnip at fullback, what do you think?
Work in progress, I think. I mean, he proved at the World Cup that he was capable, really capable at fullback, but the real question is not Widdop at fullback, but what does that do to the halves? Because I thought Ben Hunt was ordinary.
Yeah.
I thought he was ordinary. Corey Norman, ordinary.
I think St George lacks something when Widdop's not up in the halves. I don't like him playing fullback.
And he actually did a lot of the fifth tackle kicking in the last part
You know,
of the game. So he
But
sort of was
isn't
moving.
it strange? Like if you were if any of those three players were offered to any of the clubs, so Gareth Widdop, Corey Norman, Ben Hunt, if any of those three were offered to one of the other clubs, I think most clubs would say absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. But there's just something lacking with the way that
I
they're
don't
playing.
think many clubs would take Hunt. I don't think I think
I
many.
take Widdop.
I'd take Widdop.
Corey Norman?
No, I wouldn't take Corey Norman.
No
Well,
problem.
on their day, those three guys at any time are match winners.
But the problem is they're rocks and diamonds.
Yeah.
So don't you want to be the club that
No,
puts
because
the shine on?
no, because I don't know that you can.
See, that's the problem,
You've
isn't it?
got to look at your halves. I mean, Rabbitohs have got a decent set of halves now. We've got a good pair of halves. You don't.
We've got one.
So you,
Hang on, what do you mean we've got a decent set of halves
you do.
now?
We both got a decent.
Yeah, what do you mean now?
Average. I think we only got average.
Well,
Take out
how's
the
it?
word.
I
Take
guess
out the word now.
Reynolds and
Take
Cody
out-
Walker
take out-
average.
Take out the word. Take out the word now.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. You think Reynolds and Cody Walker are average?
Oh, I'm still not convinced about Cody Walker. I think he's a centre.
Well, every other commentator in the game thinks he's a special.
So what?
It's a spoiled brat, is what he is.
So you know what it comes down to, Steve? This is our show, and my opinion is Cody
Wrong.
Walker.
Right.
No, Cody Walker is a great centre, but I don't think he has the creativity or the ability to take on the line to be a great 5'8". I think you're lacking.
Okay, then there's you, and there's a thousand other commentators in the game.
How many rep games has he played?
You
Oh,
can't
how's
make
he
that
gonna-
No. He's 28 years old, greatest 5'8" of all time.
Hang on,
How many rep games?
I didn't say he's the greatest five.
Oh, okay. Gareth Widdop also plays 5'8". We're talking like international here. Let's have a look at
You've got
Ben
the
Hunt,
exaggerations.
another international.
Yeah.
Like, hang on, and Corey Norman, State of Origin. You're talking about a bloke who's not going to get
Are you
anywhere.
telling me that you would take Norman over Cody Walker? Is that what you're telling me? Come on, seriously, you brought this up. Is that what you're telling me?
As a 5'8", yeah. I would.
Really?
Yep, I would.
After you just said he's a good centre.
Yeah, Cody Walker, if I could play him in the centre, I'd
Honestly,
take him.
I'm stunned by that.
Anyway, that's because you've got no idea and you're biased with one red eye and one green eye, and I'm unbiased.
Oh,
that's a
please.
It's true though. Because you know what?
Only you believe that.
I've got nothing to lose this year.
No, you don't. And
So I'm the unbiased one this year, let me just tell you. Jordan Kahu at fullback.
nah, he wasn't bad.
His kicking was awful. He
Yep.
didn't kick one.
Yeah.
Murray Martin missed one as well. So, it was 24-12 and they scored 5 tries. So,
That is a worry.
not a lot of goals scored there.
No, and
Um,
for the Dragons, usually every year it's their defence that's
Yeah.
held them together. So it's an interesting one.
yeah, so
Right.
the Cowboys look like they can have a reasonable
Yeah.
year.
Let's move on to Panthers Stadium, where Parramatta beat Penrith 20-12.
So did you guys watch this game?
Unfortunately.
You did? Okay.
Can I ask you a question? It was the first half. I can't remember.
Yep.
Jennings gets sent to the bin.
As he should have been.
Oh,
What-
no.
what-
That
what- that's
that
what's
wasn't a
enough.
binnable. It
What
wasn't
for?
a binnable offence. It was
No,
a reportable.
no.
offence.
Excuse me.
Not a binnable
Hello,
offence.
Mr. I was at the game and I didn't get to hear any of the commentary about that.
Okay, this is
Okay,
what I
Because
want
I
to
make my own mind up. I don't
Shush.
listen to the
No,
commentators.
excuse me. The rule is.
Okay,
Were you listening to the commentary?
on and off.
Okay. The rule is that if a player commits an act that can go on report, and the player that it's committed against is not able or unlikely to continue on in the game, it's 10 in the bin.
So what you're telling me is if Latrell Mitchell
Yep.
hits Sam Burgess head high, and
Yep.
I'm just using
No,
an
yeah,
example,
because he did.
and he did. If Sam hadn't, in fact, Sam went off for a HIA after that.
Yes.
So you're saying Latrell Mitchell should have been sent to the bin.
Should have got 10 in the bin.
I tell you what,
Because
you will
he
have
has-
people going back and forward to the bin all game.
Exactly. you stop hitting them in the head.
So
Sometimes it's unavoidable though. Latrell Mitchell was unavoidable.
Yeah, but that one wasn't.
I tried to find that head shot on Sam Burgess, and I just couldn't find it in the. What minute mark was it?
It was towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
It was when Latrell Mitchell was
79 minutes.
everybody.
He was still. 79 minutes. Sam Burgess was still on the field.
He came back on.
No. What happened was he came back on.
Okay.
But he hit him. He actually played on for a few minutes, and then the doctor on the sideline said, "No, come off."
Okay.
After South scored the try.
The difference was the hit that Jennings put on. I can't even remember who it was now.
Isaiah
Isaiah could not physically stand up on his own.
Yeah.
That was the difference. He was going off and he was not coming
So
back.
are we now saying that's a new rule? Because to me that's ridiculous.
See, apparently this was the rule last year and they just didn't bother to enforce it. See, it's again, my issue with the NRL is that they've got these rules there to protect players. And you know what? People will complain about that and they'll go, ooh, we better not. Are we going to protect players and their heads or are we not?
I don't mind protecting him. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I thought it was a reportable offence. I didn't think it was a sin binnable offence.
Well, my concern is that now every time someone gets hit in the head, you're going to have someone spend 10 minutes, and now it's just going to be procession on and off. Because sometimes it's unavoidable, and sometimes it's unavoidable, and they're going to knock them out.
Yep.
And so that's going to happen.
So you know what? Well, I don't
it's
care.
A dangerous person.
No, I don't care because you know what? If a player gets knocked out, and think about your club. You're running out there, and exactly, it's Sam Burgess.
Yep.
5 minutes into the game, Rhea Hargraves decides to go for a big hit on Sam Burgess. It goes high and knocks him out. Sam's now out of the game. You've now lost your best forward, and the Roosters have got what? A bloke on report. So next week, they can play without him.
Hey, if that's consistent, I'm okay with it. But let's see if it is consistent. Let's talk about the game. So
I was going to say that I thought the Panthers and the Roosters played a pretty similar game in that they dropped a lot of ball.
Yep.
They had a lot of expectation, and they were just not the team that you expected to run out on the park. On the other hand, I was really impressed with the Eels in a lot of areas of their game. Maybe I was surprised, perhaps.
When they got to 14-0, I thought that's the trigger for the Panthers to come back. And then Jennings gets sent off, and they almost come back. Well, they got to 14-12 before.
I said to my brother-in-law, who was sitting next to me, Panthers fan, hello Scott, that second half they've got to rev up and they'll come out and get close, and they nearly did. I mean, it should have been 24-26-12 anyway because the kicking was terrible. But I was impressed with the Eels by comparison to last year. I thought they had real intent. I thought, and you know, I'm biased, I thought Blake Ferguson had a really good game for his first game. He was very safe under the high ball, really safe. He knocked on once, but he got a good hit to lose the ball. But in general, he was really
just
safe.
on that though, see, I don't think the Panthers played a smart game anyway. I mean, consider it that they had the young 5'8" Dylan Brown, who had. Let me just tell you, if that's the quality of player that they've got coming through,
he's good.
That's exceptional because. First game, 18 years old, you don't play like that. So
he was good.
But they didn't direct traffic at him. That's the frustrating thing. Why did they not run at him? And you've got the Fijian winger, Sivio out on one wing, and they're bombing Blake Ferguson, the Australian international.
I
don't know. That to me that wasn't smart. You put pressure on the blokes who are most likely to crack. No, that's what you do, isn't it?
There was a try that was knocked back by the ref. I can't remember who scored it. It was where the ball came across the line, and they said it was a double movement. To me, the guy was in the end goal when he actually promoted the ball onto the ground. So surely you're allowed to do that.
Well, how many times have we argued that? It takes minutes to fight to get the ball to the ground.
Which team are we talking about?
It was a Panthers try that was rejected, and the thing is, it was tackled over the line in the end goal, and he managed to wrestle the ball onto the ground, and they called that a double movement. How can there be a double movement when you're in the end goal? Surely you're allowed to wrestle you fight for the ball. Look what Brett Morris did in the World Cup Challenge. It took him 5 minutes to put it down.
I can't actually recall that incident. Sorry.
But I said to my brother-in-law, I said, that's wrong, surely, you know. So that was an ordinary call. But in the end, I think the Eels were the better team on the day by all accounts.
Yeah, which was amazing being again at Panthers Stadium.
Yep.
You know, you would have thought they would have put a lot more in. So you know, maybe Parramatta have something this year.
Yep.
Sorry, Brian.
They don't. Don't worry.
All right, let's move on to the last game of the round.
Isn't this convenient? The game is just finished.
Just finished, and the score is
21-0, the Raiders.
21-0 to the Raiders.
And who tipped the Titans?
Not me.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, and that was before I knew that Ash Taylor was out of the game, but I had no means of changing my tip.
Yeah,
but I found that out.
I'm the system administrator. You could have just given me a call. I would have changed it for you.
He wants to do it now.
Yeah, but you did.
Hey, I'll do it for you if you do it for me.
I can't. I'm not the system administrator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mind you, it was another game in
But
the
it's open disclosure. We're here talking about it.
Yeah, true.
Shouldn't have said anything. Yeah, we all picked the Raiders.
So it was another game in the wet.
Yes.
Most games have been played in the wet this weekend, and this was no different. It was very wet up there, I believe.
3 tries to none.
Yep.
And
you know, there are some people who picked the Titans to actually be a top 8 team this year, and this doesn't show it.
No, Titans got nothing. I already knew that. No, I've got the top 8. I've got the ladder sorted out. Don't you worry about that.
And yet, Manly take Kane Edgley from the Titans, and he still has nothing either. So
He was pretty ordinary.
he was very ordinary. Sorry, because I forgot to mention that before.
Thanks
sort of
for
throw
that,
that in
yes.
to segue back into.
Can I just say, yes, he was pretty average, but he'll get better.
He'll get better.
We also took Brendan Elliott, who doesn't know how to pass the ball and isn't much of a fullback. But anyway, that's okay.
Anyway, so this game.
I think the Raiders have. Last year, the Raiders were the biggest pack. They had the biggest men, the biggest pack, and they would steamroll teams for about the first hour.
Yep.
And then they'd run out of steam. They've now replaced a few of those guys with some 18-minute back rowers. Mm-hmm. The English guy, Bateman in particular, and I think that's going to make a bit of a difference to them. I don't know whether they're going to go all the way, push for the top 4, top 8, but I think it's a better move. You need a better balance of player than having 6 gigantic guys running at you through the forwards.
Yeah. Not being able to play. I mean, most teams have some players who are 80-minute players.
Well, interestingly, he did play. So he played 13, John Bateman. I've never thought of him as a lock. I thought he was a wing, as a centre, but he's playing lock.
Yep.
145 metres, not a bad start.
I think he's going to go alright if that's, mind you, from having a look at the game and the bits that I saw of it, I don't think the Titans were offering much. And let's face it, and you've got to understand is they lost who was their halfback, Tom? Ash Taylor, and then 10 minutes into the game, Tyrone Roberts comes out.
You know what the reason was?
No, I didn't hear that. Okay. So you're running around without your half and your 5'8". I'm thinking you're going to get done.
Would like to have changed my tip, administrator.
Too late, Tom. The game's over and run and done.
Yes, and apparently a team having 0 on the first round of the competition hasn't happened since 1989.
Really?
The Roosters beat South, and South had the 0 and went on to be minor premiers.
No score. So
0.
No score.
Yep.
Really?
No score. That hasn't happened since.
And where did South finish in 89?
Minor premiers.
Are you sure?
89, yes.
And didn't make the grand final.
No, we got beaten by the 2 grand finalists, which were Canberra and Tigers. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. I was just thinking, you're just such a South supporter. You live in the past continually. It's amazing.
No, I use the past to appreciate the future.
Just keep living there, Steve. It's okay.
That's all I got, mate. That's all I got. Truly.
No, you've won a comp recently. You're okay.
That's right.
Would you like me to read out the ladder?
Okay, Tom. Thank you for getting us back on track. School teacher, Tom. Yes,
Yeah.
go for it. I like
Okay.
it.
Whoever, I think Steve should read the ladder because his team is ahead of ours.
No,
I already put my dibs in.
I
So
speak.
about
I,
dibs.
I speak too much. Yeah, he called shotgun.
Shotgun. Okay.
Speak up.
All right. In first place, Warriors. Second, the Raiders. Third, the Tigers. Fourth, the Cowboys. Fifth, the Storm. Sixth, the Rabbitohs.
Excuse me.
Sixth, the Rabbitohs.
Thank you.
Seventh, the Eels. And eighth, the Knights. Of course,
They're all the winners.
They're all the winners. In ninth position is the Sharks. 10th, Panthers. 11th, the Roosters. 12th, the Broncos. 13 Dragons. 14 Sea Eagles. 15 Titans. And 16 the Bulldogs. And I don't know that they're going to change much over the season, unfortunately.
Speak for yourself.
No, well, I'm saying the
You're
Dogs.
saying the Bulldogs,
I'm
not
saying
the Dogs, right.
okay? She's so sensitive. Goodness me.
Too sensitive.
Hang on. You've got the... You need to update that. Because the Titans are actually below you.
Gentlemen, do you understand we're actually live at the moment? You get it? Yes.
Tom got distracted.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one with the wrong
Let's
screen.
let's
Well,
talk about.
excuse me, I'm on the NRL app and it won't update. So
Sorry.
excuse me.
Excuse me. Just while they argue between yourselves, just hang on for a minute. You finished? You two?
Okay.
This is only round one.
It's going to be a long year, folks.
Let's move on to round two.
No, we've got nothing else to talk about.
No, but nothing else because we've taken too long to talk about round
Okay,
one.
All right, round two.
It's just round one. It's like a trial game.
Terry Shutt said that.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about next week's Thursday night game at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium.
Oki. Well, it used to be Oki
Oh my
Jubilee.
Yeah, this is at Cogra.
It's at Cogra. Yep. Can we just call them by their traditional names?
Yeah,
Please
sure.
let me do that.
Okay. At Cogra,
Yep.
where St George Illawarra are taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Given it's only round one,
Well,
it's only round two.
I tell you, I'm leaning towards the Rabbitohs. I'm concerned now that the Dragons have lost the Sims brother and Jack
Frizzell.
DeBellin and Frizzell.
Sims brother.
Yeah, the one that they brought from Brisbane.
What happened to him?
He's suspended still.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
So I think they're down on three guys that were definitely going to be there in the team. I just don't think you can recover losing your back three against a top quality side like the Rabbitohs.
Sorry, Barry. Rabbitohs for me. Hate saying it.
I love you said top quality side.
Yeah, you guys will be there and abouts.
And abouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About, yeah.
If you
Okay.
put Cody Walker in the centres and counted yourself at 5'8", you'd be behind Cody.
Look, I agree with you. I mean, obviously I'm going to pick the Bunnies, but it should be a good game. Barry and I are actually going to go down and watch it. If he's still brave enough to do that.
Do it, Barry, and rub it in if you guys win. Just rub hard.
Oh, hey, it's coming all the way back from Cogra. It's going to be a long drive back for one of us, let me tell you. Yeah, so I've gone, and you've gone?
Rabbitohs.
Rabbits. Okay. Let's move on to Friday night at GIO Stadium in Canberra, where the Raiders are taking on the Melbourne Storm.
Well, the Raiders played nobody, and didn't give away a point.
Yeah.
The Storm were impressive, so I think I'd probably lean to the Storm, but I reckon it'll be a competitive game.
Wow, I'm actually in the same boat as Tom. I'm leaning towards
I'm
the
changing
Storm.
my tip.
I'm leaning towards the Storm. However, I think the Raiders will put up a good fight.
Well, I'm not leaning towards the Storm. I'm going to pick the Storm
Can I
because
just say, I've just picked the Storm twice in 2
I know.
weeks. Oh.
Yeah, I can't
What's
do that.
come
I
over you?
won't be doing it again next week. I don't know who they're playing.
What has come over you?
But you're tipping the Slaterless Storm.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be a new thing this season. The Slaterless Storm.
SS, Slaterless Storm.
SLS.
Okay. Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, where the Broncos are playing North Queensland. This should be a good game.
I'm going to go to the Cows.
Really? I'm not sure. I must admit I'm leaning towards the Broncos in this one.
I needed to see more out of the Broncos halves. I think that the Cowboys will get away with it.
Okay. Interesting. Brian? Tom? Whatever your name is?
Yeah, I hate to follow him, but I'm tipping the Cowboys, I think.
Wow, we're like two peas in a pod.
You must be
Like
twins.
peas and carrots.
You must be twins.
What? What's your
Yeah, we look
Steve?
so alike.
Yeah. Sorry?
Brian, you're
I'll
you're so good looking.
I'll be unfortunately, you can be Danny DeVito.
You got him first.
Oh dear. I know, I'm probably, I don't know. Right now, if I was asked to pick, I'd go Broncos.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's just see how. Well,
Yeah.
Anthony Seibold team is not going to win. Is going to lose 2 in a row. I
First
don't know.
home game, you'll want to be making a big impression
Yeah.
at home too.
Yeah. Now I struggle with, given what the Broncos showed the other day with their halves. I think they're gonna have a halves problem all year.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure North Queensland can play this well either. Again.
We'll see.
So we'll see. All right, let's move on then to Saturday afternoon at Shark Park, where Cronulla Sharks play the Gold Coast Titans.
You have to say the Sharks have got enough to beat the Titans, I think.
Agree.
Yeah, I think there's
It's getting
a big
boring.
joke around.
It's
on
getting
this one.
boring.
Yeah.
We're all agreeing.
Yeah. Okay. So move on
We're
to
going to disagree shortly. Don't
Yes,
worry.
we are.
McDonald Jones. I don't know why. Don't tell me you're serious. Anyway, we'll come to it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle, where the Newcastle Knights play the Penrith Panthers.
I'm actually going to go the Knights at home.
Yeah,
I think the Knights.
agree.
I think the Knights will win this one.
I think the Panthers will be 20% better than this week,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think the Knights will get them.
Okay.
And then the Knights will go on their losing streak.
Okay, let's go to Lotto Land.
Excuse me.
What is it still
If
called?
it's,
Lotto?
Yeah,
if,
it's
excuse
still
me,
called Lotto
excuse
Land.
me, if it's Cogra, it's Brookvale.
No, Brookvale is nowhere near Cobra. It can't be the same.
The Sandcastle.
Oh, you bring it on. Yes.
Lotto Land, where the Manly Sea Eagles are playing the Sydney Roosters.
Manly will bounce back. We will beat the Roosters.
I don't think you'll beat the Roosters, but I think that you'll be more competitive than last week. There'll be no 54 points put on like last time we were at Brookvale.
I think that Tom will be back, despite Desi saying not till round 4. And I think
Smoke and mirrors from Des.
LG. I know, what a surprise. I've seen the training video. He looked like he was ready to play this week. I don't know why he didn't.
Yeah.
And I think LG will step up.
Yeah.
And that'll be enough.
I don't think the Roosters can play as bad as they did last week, honestly.
I don't think
Two
we
weeks in a
can
row.
either.
No.
I wanted to say something about that. I told you last year that there won't be a place for Angus Crichton in this team, and they start him off the bench this year. And I'm telling, I'll guarantee he comes off the bench unless you have major injuries. He will be off the bench all year.
Well, Trent Robinson was asked about that, and he said, "We don't have a rotational position in the middle in the first half, so for a back rower.
Yep.
So there was no chance that he was going to be coming back out in the first half. Admittedly, he only got 20 minutes. Orbison was solid, but I think the intention has to be for Crichton to play an 80-minute game.
Hey, you know what I've heard? Just so you know, the rumour mill in motion. Apparently, because Dylan Walker is stood down under the no fault rule, apparently Manly are seriously going to be making a mid-season offer for Orbison, so that Crichton will be starting.
Wow.
I couldn't
And
see
also being
Orbison
the
playing for
centres.
another club.
That's
He is a Rooster
No,
man
I
through
couldn't
and
say
through.
it either.
that's I've heard that now twice.
We have a Rooster wall where you know, all the best players are there,
Yeah.
and I've actually said
It's an
Orbison
empty
should
wall.
be
It's a
there.
very small wall.
Orbison should be there with all the greats because he is.
I'm not denying it, but
Orbison is to the Roosters what John Sutton is to South.
Correct. I agree with
He
you.
is
I
the
agree with you.
ultimate clubman.
what Beaver was to Manly.
Correct. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And-
different style of players, different level of skill.
Yep.
But Orbison
Well,
is
no,
the
I don't think
ultimate
so.
clubman.
I don't think different style of skill at all. And the reason I question about what you say about Beaver, and Beaver was a great player, but Beaver was an international. John Sutton's not an international, neither is Orbison. But they are the sort of players that clubs
They're the glue.
need.
They're the glue.
They need
those players.
You know, and no, I don't disagree with you. And I think it'd be devastating for you to lose him.
Well, I said-
And I couldn't see him going, honestly. I think
Okay.
he's probably going to have to retire soon because they won't offer him a contract.
I said
Yeah.
that's what I've heard.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that'll be interesting to see if that happens. Okay, so we move on to Sunday at ANZ Stadium.
So
Where
you didn't say you were tipping.
Come on, Steve. Don't be
Did
a
I?
hater. Don't be a hater,
Yeah.
Steve.
I'm going to pick a draw, and I'm going to say it's going to go to Golden Point, and it'll still be a draw after Golden Point.
Okay. Take your pills. Take your pills.
He really, really wants to pick the Roosters.
But I just can't bring myself to say it.
I can be objective about his game. But he can't.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the only objective one here. We've already
Yeah,
discussed that.
you don't sound objective when you talk though. That's the problem.
No, you sound very biased.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's
And
move
I'm
on.
the only one in this room who's
No.
biased.
I'm-
Yes.
I'm not.
I'm
Because,
unbiased.
excuse me, no. I'm the unbiased one this year again.
Okay, go to NRL
Hey.
from the sidelines and tell us who is not biased out of these
Okay, alright, let's move on to ANZ Stadium where the Dogs are playing the Eels. Can anybody see the Dogs winning this one?
three. No way. Eels will be really bored by today's win. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, it wasn't a perfect performance, but
What do you think of Mitchell Moses?
I hate him.
I thought he had
Please.
I thought he had an above expected performance. I thought
Okay.
it was better than expected.
I
They need a goal kicker.
I thought he had a few dummy spits, sulks, fell over a couple of times, tried to milk penalties. Typical Mitchell Moses performance.
Okay, thank you, Brian. You've
Go on the Facebook
Go-
page and
go
talk
back
about
to
who's
the-
unbiased in this
Hey,
group.
No, look, I look, Steve and I had this discussion before. I think Mitchell Moses is the pretty much the embodiment of what is wrong with the average punter in rugby league.
What's wrong with the average punter? He's
Average
not a punter, he's
punter.
a
No,
player.
the average punter doesn't like rugby league because these blokes earn money, and Mitchell Moses is the exact reason why people don't want to follow the sport.
Oh, well, thanks for clarifying that, because I had no
Okay.
idea what you were talking about.
I know everything I'm
And
talking
you
about.
still don't. That's okay. Alright, let's, before we get ourselves into legal issues, let's just move
Legal
on.
issues. Excuse me.
Parramatta?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Parramatta.
Yeah.
Oh, could we just clarify that? Just a little louder?
I said yeah, okay.
yeah, so then you need to be, because people out there don't understand what you mean. Yeah, what?
Yes, Tom, I'm picking Parramatta to beat the
Thank you.
Bulldogs.
Thank you. That's all I need.
I hope the Bulldogs win. I don't like them either. What
West
a-
Tigers at Campbelltown Stadium is the last game where West Tigers are playing Warriors.
Nearly match of the round, this one. Oh, I
It
think.
should be a good game.
Warriors can't travel. I go to the Tigers.
Well, it's a split decision, this one. But I'm not splintering. I'm going to
Good.
No
go
splitters
the
this year.
Warriors.
Okay.
Ooh. Split vote, Steve?
No, I think I'm going Tigers.
Okay.
I think I'll lean to the Tigers in this one.
Well, it's only just. If it was in New Zealand, I would be going the
Yeah,
Warriors.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mind you, it's at Campbelltown, so the Tigers don't have the same reputation at Campbelltown as they do
Leichhardt.
at Leichhardt.
And they could only just beat Manly.
Only just beat Manly.
Only
What's the
just.
score again? 20-6?
20-6, and they scored in the last couple of minutes and didn't even
79,
look like they were
79
going to
minutes,
score.
I saw.
Fuck,
79
what
minutes.
a joke. See, they just hate. They just keep hating.
Tigers have just switched
Bring
off.
on the hate. Bring on the hate. Bring on the hate.
It's Manly, what do you expect?
Guess what? We hate you too.
Can't be that again.
Alright, we're going to end this with something. You got anything intelligent to say, or we're going to say goodbye?
No, look, honestly, I'll say that the Warriors were, I thought, the surprise packet over the Dogs. I thought they did very, very well. And that young halfback was a surprise.
Okay. Tom?
It's round one.
It's say it louder, I don't think they heard you.
It's round one.
Okay.
We'll all get better.
Alright, well thank you for watching. Can I ask that everybody shares the show? Our ratings were down a little bit this week. The thousands of people who usually watch it don't seem to have come back in their numbers.
Yes.
So we need everybody to share. We want to grow this show.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Remember to like the YouTube.
Yep. And make comments, please. We want to get some interaction and really just grow this. So if you can share it around, that would be great. Gentlemen, thank you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you all again next week. Bye bye.
See ya.